Hello, and welcome to Take Flight Live with Phoenix Stage Company, an award-winning 100% volunteer community theater organization located in Oakville, Connecticut. We'd like to thank our sponsors for tonight's event. Black Hog Brewing Company. Where are they located?
Oxford, Connecticut.
Thank you, Black Hog. We'd also like to thank Sierra Ridge Media Arts and Deb Cryan. Thank you, Deb, for all of your work you do here for us at Phoenix Stage Company. Keep up to date on everything Phoenix by visiting our website at www.phoenixstagecompany.org. And don't forget, you can make a donation online anytime to support your community theater by going to phoenix-stage-company.square.site. Hello, everyone. I'm Ed Bassett, Executive Director of Phoenix Stage Company, and your host, along with Tim Phillip. Say hello, Tim. Hello. Also in the room, we have our technical producer, Michael Calabrese.
Hello, hello.
And somewhere in the room is our lighting guru, Al Hathaway. Say hello, Al.
Hello.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, it's a funny way of saying hello. I have my Black Hog here. Where are you? You have nothing in your glass?
I don't, because Al was working his magic for me.
Oh, he's going to bring it.
Look at that.
Last time it was coffee.
Thank you, Al. Last time was coffee. Our handy dandy distancing tool.
We have to. Speak of distancing, we have to.
Yes, we're going to check this.
Make sure
just
we're
like
legal.
Yep.
Yeah. Is it?
There we go. 6 feet. We're 6 feet.
6 feet.
Yes, we're 6 feet.
That's what it was last time, right?
It's a little over 6 feet. Yeah, we're good.
I've been working out. I thought it'd be bigger this time.
Okay, Tim. That's awesome. You know, we had a great week last week.
We did. We had so much fun with our good friend Colleen Renzo.
Yeah, we made making slutty brownies.
You made a batch.
I did, and they were amazing. And I shared them with my sister Deb and her husband Randy. And
my brother out in California tells me he can't wait to make his own, but he's going to use double stuff. He says
double stuff. Well, you go for it. That's how Colleen likes to make them too.
Yes, she does, and they came out wonderful, and we had a really good time.
So what are we doing tonight, Tim?
Tonight, we are having our second edition of something we'd like to call Voices of Phoenix. 6 monologues performed by some amazing performers that you've come to know quite well here at Phoenix Stage Company. And we're going to get to know them a little bit better tonight.
We are. And this Voices for Phoenix is a little bit different because the plays that were chosen, we thought it might be helpful to have some synopses done beforehand to keep you kind of in the loop and get you some context around the monologues that were selected by these performers.
Yes,
we're really excited about this one.
There are some interesting things here. There are a lot of heavy-duty performances by some heavy-duty actors.
There are. We're excited.
Yeah.
Should we just get started with them?
I think we should.
Okay, so we need to do this.
Yes.
Here we go.
Okay.
Here we go. All right.
Good. Our first one is by Jonathan Ross, a longtime performer here at Phoenix Stage Company. John will be doing Jacques from his 7 Ages of Man monologue from As You Like It by William Shakespeare.
And here is your synopsis. Rosalind and her cousin escape into the forest to find Orlando, Rosalind's love. Disguised as a boy shepherd, she has Orlando woo her under the guise of curing him of his love for Rosalind. Rosalind reveals she is a girl and marries Orlando during a group wedding at the end of the play.
The speech compares the world to a stage and life to a play and catalogs the 7 stages of a man's life, sometimes referred to as the 7 Ages of Man. And now, Jonathan Ross.
All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. Oh, they have their exits and their entrances, and one man in his time plays many parts, his acts being 7 ages. At first, the infant, mewling and puking in the nurse's arms, and then the whining schoolboy with his satchel and shining morning face, creeping like snail unwillingly to school. And then the lover, sighing like a furnace with a woeful ballad made to his mistress' eyebrow. And then a soldier, full of strange oaths and bearded like the pard, jealous in honor, sudden and quick in quarrel, seeking the bubble reputation, even in the cannon's mouth. And then the justice, in fair round belly with good capen lined, with eyes severe and beard of formal cut, full of wise saws and modern instances. And so he plays his part. The sixth age shifts into the lean and slippered pantaloon with spectacles on nose and pouch on side, his youthful hose well saved, a world too wide for his shrunk shank, and his big manly voice turning once again towards childish trebles, pipes and whistles in his sound. The last stage at all that ends this strange, eventful history is second childishness and mere oblivion. Sans teeth, sans eyes, sans taste, sans everything.
Thank you, Jonathan. The 7 ages of man. Tim, you're approaching that 7th age.
Thank you. I think I'm on number 9, actually. Sure. But in putting all this stuff together, besides researching the place, we did some research on our performers.
We did. We know a lot about Jonathan.
Yes,
Many of you know a lot about Jonathan.
Did you happen to know what his favorite place to go is?
I know it's Hawaii.
It is indeed.
And you know why. You know
they honeymooned, and he and Casey honeymooned in Hawaii, and I believe they went back for their 10-year anniversary.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes.
That's great.
He also has a anti-favorite food.
Really,
it's not his least favorite food, and he absolutely refuses to eat them, and it's lima beans.
Oh, I don't
Good
blame
on you, Jonathan.
I don't blame you. Lima beans.
They're awful.
I don't understand them.
No, and I understand succotash even less.
Yes, and I understand that Jonathan just questions their very existence.
As he should.
I just don't understand them.
Let's move on to our second one. Oh, we have to.
Wait. Our second monologue.
Here we go. Put on correct. Adding to the flavor. Our second monologue is by Deb Goodman. She'll be playing Mrs.Arbuthnot, A Woman of No Importance by Oscar Wilde.
Here we go. This is your synopsis.
Yes, we have to do the synopsis, give you a little idea.
Sure. A Woman of No Importance satirizes upper-class English society at the end of the 19th century. It takes place, for the most part, in the homes of the rich and powerful, where lords, ladies, and archdeacons socialize and gossip about their contemporaries.
The play opens in the garden of Hunstanton Estate, where Lady Caroline Pontefract, an overbearing snob, is holding court and patronizing Hester Worsley, a wealthy young American visiting England for her first time. As Esther reveals her admiration of Gerald Arbuthnot, a young clerk, he enters excitedly to tell them that he has been made Lord Illingworth's secretary.
Lady Hunstanton is pleased for Gerald and invites his mother to join their party at the estate. A witty and flirtatious man of means, Lord Illingworth flirts with the quick-witted Mrs. Allenby and accepts her challenge to make Hester fall in love with him. However, when Gerald's mother, Mrs. Arbuthnot, enters, Lord Illingworth is shocked to discover she is his ex-lover.
What? It is revealed that Lord Illingworth seduced Mrs. Arbuthnot when they were both young, but refused to marry her when she fell pregnant with Gerald. Gerald is frustrated with his mother's obvious dislike of Lord Illingworth and his job offer, but she refuses to disclose the reason for her feelings.
Knowing that her son is in love with Hester, but also knowing Hester's Puritan views on the sin of an unmarried mother, Mrs. Arbuthnot decides to subtly reveal the story of Gerald's conception in the third person when Hester rushes in to tell Gerald that Lord Illingworth tried to kiss her. Gerald threatens to attack his new employer until Mrs. Arbuthnot declares that Lord Illingworth is in fact his father.
Dun, dun, dun. In shock, the next day, Gerald writes a letter to his father asking him to marry his mother. He has also decided to turn down Lord Illingworth's offer to become his secretary. However, Mrs. Arbuthnot tells Gerald that she will not make a mockery of her life by marrying Lord Illingworth now.
Hester overhears their conversation and, realizing the law of God is love above all things, supports Mrs. Arbuthnot's decision. She also tells Gerald and his mother that she wants to use her wealth to support them both.
When Lord Illingworth arrives, he offers to marry Mrs. Arbuthnot, and accept Gerald as his son, but he is quickly rebuffed by his former lover. Instead, Mrs. Arbuthnot tells him that she hates him and she could never marry him.
Lord Illingworth acknowledges that their former relationship meant nothing to him, flippantly calling Mrs. Arbuthnot his mistress and causing her to slap him with his own glove.
Left alone, Mrs. Arbuthnot calls for Gerald and Hester and asks her future daughter-in-law to accept her as a mother. Gerald sees the glove on the floor and asks who just visited, but his mother merely replies,
"A man of no importance."
And with that, we present Deb Goodman.
I do not know it. I do not feel it, nor will I ever stand before God's altar and ask God's blessing on so hideous a mockery as a marriage between me and George Harford. I will not say the words the church bids us to say. I will not say them. I dare not. But how could I swear to love the man I loathe? To honor him that has wrought such dishonor on you, to obey him that in his mastery made me to sin. No. Marriage is a sacrament for those who love each other. It is not for such as him, nor for such as me. Gerald, to save you from the world's sneers and taunts, I have lied to the world. For 20 years have I lied to the world. I could not tell the world the truth. Who can, ever? But not for my own sake will I lie to God and in God's presence. No, Gerald. No ceremony, church hallowed or state made, will ever bind me to George Harford. It may be that I am too bound to him already, who, robbing me, left me richer, so that in the mire of my life, I found the pearl of price, or what I thought would be so. Men don't understand what mothers are. I am no different from other women, except in the wrong done me and the wrong I did, and my very heavy punishments and disgrace. And yet, to bear you, I had to look upon death. To nurture you, I had to wrestle with it. Death fought me for you. All women have to fight with death to keep their children. Death, being childless, wants our children from us. Child, when you were naked, I clothed you. When you were hungry, I gave you food and sustenance. And when night and day, all that long winter, I tended you. No office is too mean, no care too lowly for the thing we women love. And oh, how I loved you. Nor Hamia or Hannah or Samuel Moore. And you needed love, for you were weakly, and only love could have kept you alive. Only love can keep anyone alive. And boys are careless often, and without thinking give pain. And we always fancy that when they come to a man's estate, they'll know us better and will repay us. But it is not so. The world draws them from us, and they make friends with whom they are happier than when they are with us, and have amusements from which we are barred, and interests that are not ours. And they are unjust to us often, for when they find life bitter, they blame us for it. And when they find it sweet, we do not taste in its sweetness with them. You made many friends and went into their houses and were glad with them. And I, knowing my secret, dared not follow, but stayed at home, closed the door, shut out the sun, and sat in darkness. What did I have to do in honest households? My past was ever with me. And you thought I didn't care for the pleasanter things in life. I tell you, I longed for them, but did not dare touch them, feeling I had no right. You thought I was happiest working amongst the poor. That was my mission, you imagined. It was not, but where else was I to go? The sick do not ask if the hand that smooths their pillow is pure. The dying do not ask if the lips that kiss their brow have known the kiss of sin. It was you I thought of all of the time. I gave to them the love that you did not need. I lavished upon them a love that was not theirs. And you thought that I spent too much of my time in church and in churchly duties. But where else could I turn? Only in God's house are sinners welcome. And you were always in my heart, Gerald. Too much in my heart. For though day after day in morn or evensong I knelt in God's house, I have never repented of my sin. How could I repent of my sin when you, my love, were its fruit? Oh, even now that you are bitter to me, I cannot repent. I do not. You are worth more to me than innocence. I would rather be your mother, much rather, than to always have been pure. Don't you see? Don't you understand? It is my dishonor that has made you so dear to me. It is my disgrace that has bound you so closely to me. It is the price I paid for you, the price of soul and of body that makes me love you as I do. Don't ask me to do this horrible thing. Child of my shame. Be still the child of my shame.
Wow. Deb Goodman, thank you so much.
Wow.
That was, wow. Woman of No Importance by Oscar Wilde.
Woman of no importance, performed by a very important woman.
Yes, Deb Goodman.
Talent.
And let's give a tidbit about Deb.
We will give a little tidbit about Deb.
Yes. Right now, she has, like everybody else has favorite foods.
Mhm.
Hers change from time to time.
Yeah.
And we learned that right now it's sushi.
Her favorite foods, sushi.
And a nice juicy steak.
All about it. Surf and turf right there.
But like Jonathan, she also has her kryptonite, a food that she would never, ever eat.
I share this with her.
Chicken liver.
Blech.
Yep.
Now, Al, on the other hand.
It's good.
Yeah, what does he know?
I just can't even.
He has too much hair to even know what's
maybe that's why he does electrical stuff. He's insulated by all that chicken fat.
There you go. That works.
It is good. And you like lima beans as well, Al.
Now he draws a line on lima beans.
No lima beans for Al. But yeah, I agree with you, Deb. Thank you so much for that amazing performance.
Wonderful.
Mrs.Arbuthnot from A Woman of No Importance.
So shall we go on to the next
yes.
one?
We have to change for our next monologue.
We spare no expense for these.
We don't spare any expense. So our next monologue, Leland Schick will be performing Helmer's monologue from A Dollhouse by Henrik Ibsen.
Mm-hmm.
Nora has a perfect life on the outside. Doting husband, loving children, a nice home. But when decisions she made are revealed, her world comes crashing down. Nora's lies helped save her husband's life, but his only concern is what scandal will be brought upon their household. As her relationship falls victim, Nora realizes she has been a puppet for too long.
The events leading up to this monologue are that Nora secretly borrowed money from the bank, forging her father's signature on the forms. The bank employee who handled the loan, Krogstad, works for Nora's husband, Torvald, who has fired Krogstad from the bank. Krogstad is now blackmailing Nora to convince her husband to rehire him.
After an evening of deception and delay, Nora tells her husband to read the letter. Torvald reads Krogstad's letter, his blackmail letter. He vents his frustration at the position Nora has put them into. His only concern is for himself and how it has impacted his life.
And now, Leland Schick.
What a horrible awakening. All these 8 years, she who was my pride and joy, a hypocrite, a liar, even worse, a criminal. The unutterable ugliness of it all. For shame! For shame! I should have suspected that something like this would happen. I ought to have foreseen it. All your father's want of principle has come out in you. No religion, no morality, no sense of duty. I am punished for having overlooked what he did. I did it for your sake, and this is how you repay me? Now you have destroyed all my happiness. You have ruined my future. It is horrible to think of. I am in the power of an unscrupulous man. He can do what he likes with me, ask anything he likes with me, give me any orders he pleases. I don't dare refuse. And I must sink to such miserable depths because of a senseless woman! No fine speeches, please. Your father always had plenty of those ready too. What good would it do me if you were out of the way, as you say? None at all. He can still tell everyone about it. And if he does, I may be falsely suspected of having been involved in your criminal action. Likely, people will think I was behind it all. And it was I who compelled you. And I have you to thank for all of this. You whom I've cherished during our whole married life. Do you understand now what you've done for me? It is so inconceivable that we cannot take it in, but we must come to some understanding. I must try to appease him in some way or other. The matter must be hushed up at any cost. And as for you and me, it must appear as if everything were just as it always was. But naturally only in the eyes of the world. You will still remain in my house, that is a matter of course. But I shall not allow you to bring up the children. I dare not trust them to you. To think that I should be forced to say so to one whom I have loved so dearly and whom No. That is all over. From this moment, happiness is not the question. All that remains is the fragments, the appearance of the... So late? Can you... Hide yourself, Nora. Say you will. Give it to me. Yes, it is from him. You shall not have it. I shall read it. I scarcely have the courage to do it. It may mean ruin for both of us. No, I must know. Nora! Nora! No, I must read it again. No, Nora. Yes, it is true. I am saved, Nora. I am saved. You too, of course. We are both saved, both you and I. Look, he sent back your bond. He says he repents that a happy change in... Never mind what he says. We are saved, Nora. No one can do anything to you. Oh, Nora, Nora. No, first I must destroy these hateful things. Let me see. No, I won't look at it. The whole thing shall be nothing but a bad dream to me. There. Now it doesn't exist any longer. He says that since Christmas Eve, these must have been 3 dreadful days for you, Nora. No, we won't call any of the horrors to mind. We will only shout with joy and keep saying it's all over. It's all over. Listen to me, Nora. You don't seem to realize that it is all over. What is this? Such a cold, set face. My poor Nora. I understand. You don't feel as if you could believe that I have forgiven you. But I have, Nora, I swear it. I know that what you did out of love for me. You have loved me as a wife ought to love her husband, only you had not sufficient knowledge to judge the means you used. But do you suppose you're any the less dear to me if you don't understand how to act on your own responsibility? No, no. Only lean on me. I will advise you and direct you. I should not be a man if this womanly helplessness did not give you a double attractiveness in my eyes. You must not think any more about the hard things I said in my first moment of consternation when I thought everything was going to overwhelm me. I have forgiven you, Nora. I swear, I have forgiven you.
Thank you, Leland. Schick.
We love you too, Nora. You know, I was saying earlier, briefly, that I had seen A Doll's House 2 at Long Wharf. Really creative production.
Mhm.
I went with Agnes and Dr. Elser and his wife Sheila. We went to see it in Long Wharf, and I was a little bit lost through the production because I wasn't familiar enough with Dollhouse.
Mhm.
When researching for this evening and for his
Right.
monologue, for Leland's monologue, it all made sense to me. Boof, it
makes
made perfect sense to me. I understood exactly what I saw.
Mhm. Well, that's
Yeah.
Ibsen for you.
Yeah, that's Ibsen.
So what do we know about Leland?
We know a few things. I learned that he likes scoop ice cream better than soft serve, and that his favorite flavor is peanut butter cup.
Okay.
I like anything peanut butter cup, so
Well,
I'm there
I
with
mean,
you.
I like to get, when I get my soft serve Sundays, I always have Reese's peanut butter cups put on them, so I had the best of both worlds.
But he wouldn't like that
He
because he,
wouldn't
likes
like that
scoop
because
ice
he
cream over
prefers-
soft serve.
That's kind of a you know.
Yeah. We also asked him what his favorite book was, and he said The Trial by
Right,
Franz Kafka.
Kafka.
That is some heavy reading, Leland. Good for you.
That is pretty heavy stuff.
Kafka.
Let's move on to monologue number 4.
Oh,
Oh, wait, we got to change. Okay, yep. This is important.
It is important.
Oh, wait. I gotta look. This will be Killian Meehan, Agoracritus, a sausage seller from the Knights by Aristophanes. The Knights is a comedy by the ancient Greek playwright Aristophanes. Now, I bet you didn't know this. It won first prize at the Lanaya Festival when it was produced in 424 BCE.
You remember that. The play is a satire on political and social life in 5th century BCE Athens, and in particular, a diatribe against the pro-war populist politician Cleon. In the play, a sausage seller, Agoracritus, vies with Paphlagonian, representing Cleon, for the confidence and approval of Demos, an elderly man who symbolizes the Athenian citizenry.
And Agoracritus emerges triumphant from a series of contests and miraculously restores Demas to his former youth and glory. You got a little throat there.
And now, Killian Meehan.
The story is worth hearing. Listen, from here I rushed straight to the center, right on the track of this man. He was already letting loose the storm, unchaining the lightning, crushing the knights beneath huge mountains of calumnies, heaped together and having all the air of truth. He called you conspirators, and his lies caught root like weeds in every mind, dark with looks on every side, and brows were knitted. So when I saw the senators listen to him favorably and was being tricked by his imposture, I said to myself, come, gods of rascals and braggarts, come, gods of all fools, toad eaters and braggarts, and thou, marketplace, where I was bred from my earliest days, give me unbridled audacity, untiring chatter, and a shameless voice. No sooner had I finished this prayer than a lewd man broke wind on my right. Ha! 'Tis a good omen, I said, and prostrated myself. Then I burst open the doors with a vigorous push from my back, and, opening my mouth to the utmost, shouted, Senators, I wanted you to be the first to hear the good news. Since the war broke out, I have never seen anchovies at a lower price. All faces brightened up, and I was voted a chaplet for good tidings. And I added, within a few words, I will reveal to you how you can have quantities of anchovies for an obol. 'Tis to seize on all the dishes the merchants have. With mouths agape in admiration, they applauded me. However, the Paphlagonian winded the matter, and using the sort of language that pleases the Senate best, said, I am resolved to offer 100 goats in recognition of this happy event to the goddess. At once, the Senate veered to their side. So when I saw myself defeated by this goat filth, I outbade the fellow, crying, 200! And beyond that, I moved that a vow be made to Diana of 1,000 oxen in recognition of this event. And if the next day anchovy should only be worth an obol 100, we double that. And the Senate looked to me again. The fellow was stunned by this and grew delirious in his speech, and at last the prytanes and the guards dragged him out. Then the senators stood talking noisily about anchovies. Cleon, however, begged them to listen to the Lacedaemonian envoy who came to make proposals of peace, but all with one accord cried, 'Tis not the moment to talk of peace now. If anchovies are so cheap, what need have we of pigs? Let the war run its course. And then, with loud shouts, they demanded the Prytanes close the sitting for today, and then leapt the rails in all directions. As for me, I slipped out and bought all the coriander seed and leeks there were on the market, and gave it to them, gratis, as seasoning for their anchovies. 'Twas marvelous. They loaded me with praises and caresses. Thus, I defeated the Senate with an obel's worth of leeks. And here I am.
Agoracritus. I'm sorry, my wreath keeps falling off my head.
Just
It's the anchovies in my head.
If you had a nice gold helmet, you'd be fine.
Yes, I don't want to be a rodent.
Thank you, Killian, for that incredible reading. We enjoyed that a whole lot, even if we don't know,
Anchovies.
even though we don't know how to say Agoracritus.
Agoracritus. Agoracritus.
We went 10
It
minutes.
just
before
trips
the
off
show.
your tongue. Agoracritus. Why are there no names like that anymore?
Probably because they won't fit on the form.
Agoracritus.
We learned some things about Killian.
We
who's
did.
done 2 shows here now. He's done. He was in Sherwood and he was in.
The Pink Panther Strikes Again. Yeah, he was
And
the
we-
evil doctor and very talented. He's attending University of New Haven, UNH,
Yep.
for cybersecurity. So he
And-
has a favorite subject there, and it's
and
programming.
Yes.
So congratulations, Killian, on your first year.
And according to this, you prefer snakes over spiders.
Yeah, I asked
Good
him,
for you.
do you
because I
like
don't
spiders or snakes?
Do you like snakes?
He prefers
snakes.
spiders.
It's a-
He prefers
snakes.
snakes over spiders. You
I
remember that old song?
Jim
I
Stafford.
don't like spiders and
Yes.
snakes.
I don't like you. I agree with them. I don't like either one.
I don't either.
They're embarrassed. They make me embarrassed because I leap out of the way.
You scream like a girl, don't
I
you?
big time.
I don't know. No. I tend to freeze when I see a snake, and I call the cats when I see a spider.
Okay, that also works.
You know.
Thank you, Killian.
Thank you, Killian, very much.
We're-
Thank you.
We're going to move on to our next
Oh,
one.
we're going to do our next one. So I get to take the wreath off my head.
Yeah.
Oh, look.
Oh, ready?
Here we go. Light change.
And-
Next up, we have Casey Ross. She is performing tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow. This is Act 5, Scene 5 from Macbeth.
We can say that?
Yes, because it's a performance.
Oh, okay.
Written by William Shakespeare. After hearing that his wife has died, Macbeth takes stock of his own indifference to the event. Death, or return to dust, seems to him merely the last act of a very bad play. An idiot's tale full of bombast and melodrama,
The sound and fury,
but without meaning.
signifying nothing.
Murdering King Duncan and seizing his throne, in retrospect, seem like scenes of a script Macbeth was never suited to play.
And now, Casey Ross.
Wherefore was that cry?
The queen, my lord, is dead.
Oh, she should have died hereafter. Oh, there wouldn't have been time for such a word. Tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow creeps in this petty pace from day to the last syllable of recorded time. And all our yesterdays have lighted fools the way to dusty death. Out, out, brief candle. Life is but a walking shadow, a poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage and then is heard no more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing.
tomorrow, and tomorrow, and tomorrow.
You know, I have such high regard for people that take on Shakespeare. Tim.
What? I'm sorry, I was playing with my candle.
Yes. I have high regard for people that take on Shakespeare.
There's a
For the
ton
last
from
voices, you did that.
my first time.
Casey, that was quite
Brilliant.
fabulous.
Really done.
Quite
Very
fabulous.
nicely done. Casey, you know, is a big time sci-fi fan.
She is, yes.
And her favorite movie character of all time?
Yeah.
Princess Leia.
You know, I'm there with you.
She says because Princess Leia defended people and protected those in need, but I really think it's because she wore those two Danishes on her side of her head.
Well, you know, you're always, you know, prepared, I guess.
And she'll never go hungry.
No, but because, and what's not to love about Carrie Fisher?
We
honestly?
all love Carrie Fisher.
Honestly, she's dead now, but we still love
We
her,
love her,
and we
yeah.
will love her forever.
And she has a favorite season,
And I share this with her.
as do I.
Autumn. I
You
love
got-
autumn.
I love autumn.
I love the smell of
I
autumn.
love the apples, the pumpkins.
I know.
Football.
Yeah,
Remember
pumpkin spice,
football?
everything comes out in the autumn.
Pumpkin spice football comes out.
Yeah.
What?
Oh,
Okay.
okay. Yeah.
Uh,
So again, thank you, Casey. That was
we enjoyed that a lot.
fabulous. Yeah, we did.
And this brings us to our final of the six.
Yeah, so we can put these down below.
Ow, my finger, I burned myself.
Well, you just had it in your nose. Here we
Oh,
go.
Okay, you're right. What is-
Who's next?
Next, our final performer tonight will be Dan Willey, playing Benedick in Much Ado About Nothing, also by William Shakespeare.
Benedick, an aristocratic soldier who has recently been fighting under Don Pedro and a friend of Don Pedro, Claudia.
Benedick is very witty, always making jokes and puns. He carries on a merry war of wits with Beatrice, but at the beginning of the play, he swears he will never fall in love or marry. Ladies and gentlemen, Dan Willey.
I do much wonder that one man, seeing how much another man is a fool when he dedicates his behaviors to love, will, after he hath laughed at such shallow follies in others, become the argument of his own scorn by failing in love. And such a man is Claudia. I have known when there was no music with him but the drum and the fife. Now he'd rather hear the tabor and the pipe. I have known when he would have walked 10 miles afoot to see a good armor. Now will he lie 10 nights awake, carving the fashion of a new doublet. He was wont to speak plain and to the purpose, like an honest man and a soldier. Now has he turned orthography? His words are a very fantastical banquet, just so many strange dishes. May I be so converted and see with these eyes? I cannot tell. I think not. I will not be sworn, but love may transform me to an oyster. But I'll take my oath on it. Till he have made an oyster of me, he shall never make me such a fool. One woman is fair, yet I am well. Another is wise, yet I am well. Another virtuous, yet I am well. But till all graces be in one woman shall not come in my grace. Rich she shall be, that is certain. Wise, or I'll none. Virtuous, or I'll never cheapen her. Fair, or I'll never look on her. Mild, come not near me. noble, or not I for an angel, of good discourse, an excellent musician, and her hair shall be of what color it please God. The prince and Monsieur Love. I will hide me in the arbor.
Daniel R. Willey, Benedick, Much Ado About Nothing. I'm such a huge fan of that young man.
He is incredibly fun to watch.
Super talented.
Yep.
Last seen on our stage here during Dead Ringer.
You having problems?
Yeah, my feather is in my eye.
If I had a nickel for every time that happened.
Yeah. Do you know that Dan Willey's very first pet was a little gray kitty named Frisky?
I think you're making that up.
No, it's true. A little gray kitty named Frisky.
Could you elaborate how you found that information?
I asked him.
Oh, okay.
And he told me.
He also likes Jell-O.
He does, but a very specific flavor.
Oh, yes?
Yeah, because I asked that too.
And what
Do you
flavor?
like Jell-O?
I
And
don't.
if so, is there a particular flavor that you like?
And he said tangerine.
Black cherry.
Black cherry.
I honestly didn't even know they made black cherry Jell-O.
You're somewhere it has it. Apparently he had a lot.
I guess the only time I've ever really eaten a lot of Jell-O is in the hospital.
They
when
don't
my
have
dad
black
was there.
cherry. Yeah.
No, my mom used to make Jell-O with fruit cocktail in it.
Well,
Or
congratulations.
bananas.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Karen Willey, for giving Dan black cherry
Black cherry Jell-O. And that's
to
a secret.
make his life
Yeah.
complete.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Dan, for that monologue too. Thank you all of our performers tonight. They were really, that was some interesting stuff.
It was awesome. 6 monologues for the second edition
Yep.
of Voices for Phoenix.
And
We look very forward to the third. Listen,
Yeah.
I want to do a special thank you, special shout out to Rob Rishnovsky and Chris Evans, who put these things together. They're the ones who put the Facebook group together and go out and find people to do these monologues. So thank you guys for putting it together and for being a part of the family and staying active with us during this shutdown phase. And we look forward to that. You know, we recently received some information from the state with when the phases will be coming on for reopening. And it's a little bit difficult. It's still a little vague.
Right.
They're looking at the phase when theaters can start kind of working again in late July. That's a little deceiving because we need 8 to 12 weeks of rehearsal to put a show back on the stage.
Right.
And we still are unclear on how we can safely distance our actors and keep them safe. So we're working on that with the State Office of the Arts, the Arts Alliance, and the
Right.
Greater Waterbury Arts and Culture Collaborative is looking for a lot of information for us and keeping us posted. So
At this point, we know what we have to do for the patrons.
we know what we have to do to keep our patrons safe.
Mhm.
We're not quite sure yet what we're doing for the actors. And so we're all kind of
learning
communicating with
together.
each other. There are email strings going around and round tables happening and virtual meetings and stuff. And so we will continue to keep everyone up to date on that. As far as Phoenix Stage Company goes, we're fairly certain. We know that the earliest we're going to open is in November
Right.
with a holiday show.
Yeah.
That will give us enough time to make sure that we can plan accordingly.
One of the reasons that we decided to do these live podcasts was to show you that we're still out here. We're still working on this stuff. We want to get open,
We are.
but we want to do it right.
Yeah.
We want to make sure everybody is safe. Everybody is unconcerned about things and get back to the way we like to do things at Phoenix Stage Company.
Absolutely. And by doing events like this, we have someone like Michael Calabrese, who is tech savvy. There's a possibility we will be able to get to streaming and we will be able to do some other things to keep you entertained through Phoenix Stage Company.
And
So we're looking at that.
yeah, we're also talking about maybe somewhere down the line doing this in front of a live audience.
It would be awesome to have a live audience in here. Now, you know, when they do open us for phases and they start opening things in phase, we could have a few people in the audience.
Right.
It'd be nice to see Amber Dunphy and Tony Benedetti sitting in the audience and cheering us on
And our
because they're signing in
Glorias,
all the
yeah.
time. So it'd be nice to have you guys sitting in the audience and
Let's
laughing
face it,
with
we're
us.
getting tired of having to listen to Al laugh at us.
Yeah, Al laughs sometimes, and sometimes we know it's pity laugh.
He's smart, yeah.
We can tell a pity laugh when we
we
hear one.
definitely get the pity laughs
Yeah.
there.
So listen, next week, what are we doing next week? Thursday, the 25th of June
At 7 p.m. We have our special guest will be a good friend of ours who's done several shows here in Oakville. Laura Sturgis Cortez will be joining us to talk about all things theater. There's some questions I'd love to ask her, and she will be playing our new game called Jargon Gymnastics. Never mind. We had a saying, a slogan.
Stretch your mind and stretch your tongue.
Stretch your tongue. So get ready, Laura. You're going to have to stretch both your mind and your tongue.
Yeah.
And we have a brand new segment that we're going to be introducing for the first time next week called Ask Lydia.
Yes, our friend Lydia Cleft will be here, and she'll be here. You may know her from our improv comedy nights. Good Morning Minnesota.
Good morning.
And Lydia comes in and does little segments. Well, she's going to do a segment for us called Ask Lydia.
Yes.
And you can send in questions that we can present to Lydia. So we have
an advice column.
It is.
basically
It's a
advice.
live advice column.
So contact us through our website or through Facebook.
Yeah.
If you have a question that you would like Lydia to answer.
And if
for
any
us.
of you out there know Lydia, don't tell her any of the questions in advance,
Yes.
please.
No,
This
we wanna
is really
surprise
all
her.
part of the fun is she doesn't know what the questions are. And we
Yep.
just hit her with them.
Yeah.
Blindside her. Ha-ha! That's what we do for Lydia.
That's what we do. Well, this has been a lot of fun tonight.
It's been a great night. Thank you all so much for joining us. Tim, thank you for being here. And Michael, thank you so much for all of your hard work. Al, up there.
What?
Thank you.
Making us look good with the lights. You got
Yeah.
that sheen down a little bit. That's good.
Awesome. Thank you all so much. Until next time, say good night, Tim.
Good night, Tim.
Good night, Ed.